Hey everybody, welcome to Heroes Sports Grill here in downtown Bangor. My name is Dale Duff. You've seen Brian Stackpole here as well. Come on down here. Brian helps set everything up here with us. Clem LeBrie is with us as well. And Tom Preble, our general manager from Town Square Media. And Tom Osborne, the lone Cub fan. Can everybody pray for Tom tonight from our station? My name is Dale Duff. So glad to have everybody here today. We've already set a record, I think, for kids for our noontime luncheon. This is great. Great to see everybody. We want to thank all of our winners, all of our nominators, and our special panel. We have 2 or 3 of our special panel members here today as well, and obviously Christina and Quinn Parody, everybody here at Heroes Sports Grill. Someone once said that volunteers don't necessarily have the time, they just have the heart. And so today we gather here today because our assignment today is to try to say thank you to 3 folks who have some of the biggest hearts in our area. This is closing in on almost 40 years in the sports profession for me. And one of the things that I get to see, including last night out at a local soccer game, I saw concession stands at work and I saw volunteers in action. And so I know what it takes for volunteers to help in sports in their communities. Tight budgets and booster groups are a necessary thing. And so for those who may not know, our Sports Heroes program here is a way to try to publicly award and honor some of the best volunteers in this state of Maine. We hope that through increased publicity that maybe even more folks will help step up and volunteer. This is our 4th year for our awards program. As you can see in the programs, our previous winners have come from all over: Guilford, Bar Harbor, Belfast, Bangor, Holden, from Orrington, Newport, Dedham, and we're adding, I guess, Greenville Corinth for a second time, but we add Dover-Foxcroft and Greenville to our ever-growing list. And so the process, for those who may not know, works like this. Each year, we begin to ask for nominations. People send in through our website information that they think somebody should be honored for one of these awards. So we need to say thank you to Louis, to Jonathan, and John for taking time. They're here. You'll meet them in just a few moments. Can we get a round of applause for our nominators? And then step 2, we ask our special volunteer panel to have the task of picking out of all of the great entries 3 people that are deserving. Among the people on our panel and here today, Mary Cady. Many people know Mary from track and field director, a former golf coach, and do everything in the world of sports. Mary, thank you for being here today. And fire up Dennis Kaya, a longtime AD at Brewer High School, former teacher and a former coach and a coach again of the Brewer Witches. He's been involved in sports, obviously, all of his life. Also on our panel, unable to be here today, Dr. Lee Spironis. He is at Husson University. He's the director of sport, hospitality, and management, tourism. He's also an assistant coach over at Husson. And Beth Staples, who helps us with some of our broadcasts, she's a former coach, softball coach at the University of Maine, a former high school basketball coach, Colby softball player, and is a writer at the University of Maine. So for all of these people to help us kind of define three tremendous winners here today. So if we could get a round of applause for our selection committee as well. And our special partners here at Heroes Sports Grill, we'd like to take just a few moments to introduce them. Quinn and Christina are coaches in their own right. Quinn coaches hockey, and Christina coaches cheering. So they know all about boosters clubs and volunteers and what it takes. And they run this outstanding establishment as well. And I've asked Quinn to say a few words to us today.
I just want to say thank you for everyone attending this great lunch today. One thing about sports in the state of Maine is the miles that we put on, and obviously today there are these three great candidates put a few miles on coming down the Bangor to have lunch today, and we want to say thank you for coming. As Dale said, volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they have the heart. And with that being said, in today's society and how busy everyone is, time with work and school and after-school activities, that it's great to see that we do have people that put the great time in and make great concession stands, great fields for the kids to play in, get rides and make schedules so people and kids can make practices. That stuff doesn't go unnoticed. As a coach myself, we see it firsthand what volunteers do, and it is what makes coaching in the state of Maine and sports very fun because of the volunteers that we do have. One of the biggest things that we see out of volunteers today, and it's one of the hardest things, is getting tighter and tighter, is fundraising. That's one thing that we see, that volunteers, are out working hard, making sure there's enough money for things for kids to have, and that stuff doesn't go unnoticed. And here at Heroes, we'd like to say thank you for the three great candidates we have here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Quinn. Before we hand out awards and hear the stories from our nominators, I did want to just share something with you here as well today. Back in, I think it was September, wasn't it? That the Maine Association of Broadcasters, they give out various awards for radio and television stations. And we received an award here from public service from the Maine Association of Broadcasters for our Sports Heroes program. And for our station and for Heroes Sports Grill as well, a special award from the Maine Association of Broadcasters. So it's heartening to think that, thank you. It's heartening to know that some other judges, and I believe they're judged by folks from another state. And so it's kind of nice from a distance to know that the program that we're doing is catching attention. So we're happy about that. Now let's meet our award winners. We're going to begin with Tim Smith. And Louis Alaya is one of the coaches up at Foxcroft, and he nominated Tim. Come on up, Louis. And I'm going to have Louis say a few words. A lot of folks know Tim, as I do, as the athletic administrator and head honcho, or whatever we want to call him, up at Foxcroft Academy. We see him all the time. And I know that there have been some great work done at the lower levels in recent years. And Tim has been a real big factor in all of that, giving out his time. And I'll have Louis talk more about that. Louis, thank you for nominating.
Well, thank you for coming today. When I first heard of this award, I thought this would be a great way to recognize those individuals that have made a big difference in our community. It's a way to say thank you to them, and thank you for making a big difference. For me, I have seen this change. I've seen this individual make great progress in our community. Having two boys go through our youth sports program, I remember the way it used to be, and now my second son going through it, I see the way it is now. And it's a big difference. It is great to see somebody be involved, caring about our youth sports. And so one thing that I like about Tim is that he makes every sport matter. He cares for every sport, not just some sports. He wants all the kids to have the same opportunities other towns have, other teams have. And so it's great to have that, somebody that cares, is involved in it. And so he's been doing it for last 5 years, it's just been a big change. Me and being involved in the youth soccer program, I've seen those changes. And it's always great. He's always willing to help out, do whatever it takes for our teams to have uniforms, fields ready. And so it's just great. Him being involved the last 5 years has made a big difference. And so we'd like to, that's why I nominated Tim. Just a way of me of saying thank you. Thank you for making a big difference in our community in Dover-Foxcroft. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, I have to speak?
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to thank Luis for nominating me. It's been my pleasure. I really enjoyed it and hope to keep doing it. And Mr. Ayala here is pretty modest. There's nobody who volunteers more time with our youth than he does. So I'll make sure I return the favor and nominate him in the future. So thank you.
We hear that a lot each year as well, that oftentimes the nominator deserves to be recognized as much as well. So congratulations to Tim Smith, our first 2016 Sports Heroes Award winner. Now we'll turn our attention to Greenville and Bette DiAngelo. And she was nominated by Jonathan Pratt, and I forget what John's words were when he said that you're everything when it comes to the sports in the Greenville area. Concession stands. As a matter of fact, I can tell one story. One day I was talking with Josh on the phone. He's trying to go from Rockland to Greenville for a soccer game, and an hour later, I was talking to Bette, who was trying to get done whatever she was trying to do to get to the snack shack in Greenville that day, and so it goes. But Bette does a lot of other good as well, besides just the sports up in the Greenville area. And I'd ask Jonathan to come up and just say a few words, if you would, for her and the nomination.
Perfect. The quote was, Bette is everyone's organizer and everyone's calendar. When anyone needs to know where they're supposed to be and when, you just look for Bette. You know, where's Bette? Where's my calendar? You know, and it takes a lot of people to get a lot of these things done. It takes a community. Not stealing your thunder, but you know, I may help out with a Boy Scout project, or I may help out with a sport here or there. But the one constant, and the one constant that's been in Greenville, not just sports, has been Bette DiAngelo. Typically her husband Joe by her side. But Betty's that one person. I'm sure most towns have a go-to, and she's Greenville's go-to. So thank you, Bette, for everything you do.
I have to write stuff down because I don't remember things well. So I just wanted to share a couple things. First, I want to thank Jonathan for the nomination. Thank you, 92.9, the ticket, for the thoughtful recognition. I'd like to accept this on behalf of Greenville, the entire community. It is not just me. It's many hands makes light work is one of my favorite expressions, and that's what we find in Greenville. That's what our hometown is. We started Sports Boosters with a bunch of families that wanted to do some good for our community kids that might not otherwise be able to have some opportunities. So we brought in some things to Greenville. We started with an MLS soccer camp. We subsidized the cost, so kids are paying $50 instead of $150. We brought it to Greenville. We're still doing that 10 years later, which is wonderful. We've had lots of clinics. We host team dinners, banquets, parades, even at 1:30 in the morning when you win the regional championship for baseball. Everybody's out there flashing their lights, supporting the kids. We do overnight accommodations if we have away basketball games. We have Laker gear, which is affordable, printed in town. We have unbelievable coaches who are committed, coaches that are plowing our soccer field last week to have a playoff soccer game hosted. We have so many things that go on. We have fence cups on our fence field. The Key Club helps. There's so many different programs that help to make us successful in Greenville. It's just amazing, and I can go on and on about all the different wonderful things we do. We host great events for our seniors. We have a breast cancer awareness event that we host for the soccer games, where we buy pink jerseys for the kids. The hospital provides pink socks, and the kids make a donation to the local mammography department. These are wonderful ongoing things. We host golf tournaments, concessions. We started with Snicker bars and water at the rec games, and now we're doing the varsity and the high school games, and we're having like full meals there. We have chili, and people come eat their dinner. They're not just getting a snack. Budgets are tight, as Dale, I think, had mentioned, and so we really need to have these programs in place. And on a more serious note, a couple weeks ago we lost a former soccer player in Greenville, a tragic fire, and it was just so heartwarming to go to that funeral, have 500 people from our small community there, and in turn the family turns around and sets up a memorial fund in Stephen's name to support the sports boosters. I think that sort of captures the spirit of Greenville. It's like we all support each other in the good, the high, the low, everything. You know, that's how we do things in a small town across Maine, and there is no one hometown hero. We're a team, and Greenville's a wonderful place to call home and a great place to visit, so come visit. Thank you.
Congratulations, Betty, and thank you, John, for the nomination. Well said. Our third winner this year is Josh Campbell from Corinth, and he was nominated by John Allen. We'll have John say a few words. I think it can be said Josh is Mr. Everything, just as Tim and Betty are. Josh, when it comes to getting things done in the community sports, in the Corinth area, Josh is kind of the go-to guy. I'll have John speak more of that. Come on up, John. This is John Allen, the nominator.
Hi there. I'm going to keep this pretty short, but I was trying to go through a list of the things that Josh does for our community, and it was pretty difficult to try to narrow it down, so I made a little list here. Youth coaching, assistant coaching, soccer, baseball, softball, basketball, reffing, umpiring, keeping the clock at basketball games, lining the fields for baseball, softball, raking the fields for softball, baseball, getting the fields ready. Paul can attest to all the help that Josh gives us for that. Installing the soccer goals every year. Installing basketball hoops. We bought new basketball hoops, and we didn't have all the hardware we needed, so Josh was able to weld some metal brackets and install the hoops, and without Josh, I don't know, would have cost us a lot more money, taken a lot more time, so thank you for that. Let's see, ordering equipment, rec committee member, playground maintenance, painting dugouts, fixing fences. The list doesn't stop. So I just want to say thank you, Josh, for all the work you've done, and it's my pleasure to present you with this award this year. So, thank you. No hug?
No hug. Sorry. You leaving? No, you can stay. Thank you for the award. And like Betty said, it takes a community to get anything done in the community. I couldn't do this with myself. Paul Speeds helps with the rec, and John Allen, he should be nominated as well as me. He does probably more than I do. It takes a lot, and probably like every other community, we're still looking for volunteers, and when you don't have volunteers, you just got to step up and get it done for the kids. It's for the kids, and that's why we do what we do, I think, all of us. So thank you. Thank you to the 929. Thank you for Hero Sports Car for putting this on, and I appreciate it.
Well, you can see why all three of these are great winners for our 2016 class of Sports Heroes Award winners. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of the busy schedules and, in the case of everybody, almost everybody here, for traveling great distances to come to our annual awards luncheon here. Again, thanks to the Heroes Sports folks. Can we get a round of applause for that food? And when we wrap up, we want to get a few pictures and all of that with the winners, but I think there's more food, Christina, over there. Tons of food. Make sure everybody takes something when they go. How's that? And we appreciate that. I do want to just leave you with a quick line. Somebody said at one of these volunteer functions years ago that it's easy to make a buck. It's a lot tougher to make a difference. And so to Tim, to Betty, and to Josh, thank you for making a difference. Thank you for being one of our Sports Heroes Award winners. Thank you very much. That concludes our formal presentation. Feel free to mill around. We'll take some pictures and help yourself with the food. Thanks, everybody, for coming.